Hi, I'm Yasmin and I'll be your host for today's episode on Tiny Tales, where we meet the experts. We have met these ladies individually, and however today we're going to be meeting them one more time, so I'll introduce them to you real quick. We have Rena, and she is our midwife. We also have Gloria, and she's a clinical psychologist, and Ida, a sexologist. Welcome, ladies.
Thank you.
Basically today we'll be answering questions that our viewers have sent us. So I'm going to start running out a few questions. If our beautiful viewers have more questions as well, they can send it to us and we could try to answer those questions for them as well. So we're going to go on to our second question from one of our viewers as well. I'm 5 months pregnant with my third. After having lost the first and the first two in the early stages of pregnancy, I'm so scared and worried that I will lose this one too, that I can't focus on anything else. I do as many checkups as possible and take cold water to get the baby to move so I can feel her. How do I get through the next 4 months?
I want to say that her feelings are valid because if you have lost a child in a second one, definitely these are natural responses to a traumatic event that had happened to you. She shouldn't overthink it. Anytime the thought comes, as we just said, she should try and distract herself. Try and keep yourself busy.
Yeah.
You get me? Because the more you are idle, the more you give room for your brain to be free, it's going to feed you with all the past experiences. Exactly. So if possible, she should take a break. If she's with a partner, they can go for baby moon. I've been hearing stuff like that, which is quite interesting.
Okay.
So go to a very relaxed place. If it is nature, if it is water, if it is greens that they want to see, put yourself in that position. Put yourself in a very relaxed position. Because when you are anxious, it's also going to affect the child, and that can actually rather cause, something that would not have even happened in the first place. But because of the fear and anxiety, it can just make this. So don't think so much about it. I know it's not easy.
It's never easy,
it's not easy, but you just have to be conscious. Start saying good things to yourself. I believe in affirmations.
Yeah.
So start saying wonderful things to yourself. Start speaking to your baby. You understand, and then know that it may have happened the first time, and the second time it's not going to happen. Like just believe and then trust. That I know it's not an easy situation, but you take it one day at a time.
I can understand having, like you rightly said, she's been through it twice. From a medical or a midwife's perspective, there are a lot of reasons why people miscarry. And then if your pregnancy, trust me, lady, there are people that have miscarried and miscarried and miscarried and have been able to have their next child or their next baby. And so it's actually a blessing to have this point that you're still pregnant. If you're going to focus the energy on the past, whatever that made you lose it, you're going to transfer that energy into this one. And what you, like she said, you're not expecting it, but that's what you look. So the slightest thing is like, and then exactly. I think getting a therapist should work, because as long as you're going to see your midwife or your OBGY, you're making sure that your daily routines and everything is okay. They are monitoring you and you realize that you're not really at high risk. And even if you are, they are putting in measures to make sure that this child stays and survives. For you as a mother, what you can do for yourself and for your baby is to tell yourself that I'm going to give birth to you. And whatever it takes for us to do it, I'm ready to do my part. So please, I'm talking to you, like you said, talk to your baby. Let's do it together. And then find your inner space. Nature helps a lot.
It does.
But don't disregard also the science, because they are there also to be able to make sure that your scans, your medications or whatever that you have, your supplements and everything is all important.
I think also the spiritual aspect of like miscarriage is not easy for anyone, and it's very hard to go through. But to know that maybe the soul was not ready to come and transform into this life on earth at that current moment, but maybe now is the moment.
ready.
And if you believe in it and you really manifest that this baby is going to come to you, it will really manifest within the child as well. Like, see a therapist, talk openly about the thoughts, talk openly about what is going on within her mind as well.
I don't know if Ghana we have support, because there are a lot of people that go through. Being a midwife, I know it's almost become a norm, which is sad. A lot of women go through miscarriages with some go as far as 4 babies miscarrying before. So it has become a norm right now, where it's like, oh, you got pregnant, you miscarried. That's okay. It's not. That's a lot of mental and psychological trauma. So maybe you can find a support group. I don't know if there is in Ghana, but look online, people that have been through it before, and then discuss, like, how did you get through this? How did you get to that point? Knowing that somebody has been through it before and has been able to overcome it, you learn a lot also from those people.
Yeah, very much.
So it does take you back to mind, body, soul connection.
Exactly.
When your mind fails you, your body is gonna fail you. Your soul is gonna fail you.
Exactly.
And for us, I mean, it's easy for us to come and sit here and be like, oh, you've got to be positive and stay away from negativity. But I believe that if it should happen to any of us, one of us will probably lean towards that fear that she has.
Exactly.
But I also believe that negativity feeds negativity.
Yeah.
If you're constantly thinking negative, I believe that will constantly build that fear and the anxiety that you're already suffering with. So yes, you need support group. You need to do your tests properly. You need to go make sure that you're getting scanned. You're making sure that everything is okay. Speak to your baby. Have fun. Clear your mind. Do activities. Things that is going to keep you moving. And again, when you've got too much free time, then you've opened up this room for all kinds of doubt and fear to sit in there, you know? So preoccupy yourself. Get a new hobby. Get something doing for the baby. And do you get a lot of cases? Do mothers actually come seek help?
So, unfortunately, in Ghana, when it comes to mental health, it's now getting out there little by little. But when I was in Kolebu, doing my practicum over there, we rotate the wards. So I was at the maternity ward, and that is, as for that, you're exposed to a lot of situations like this. And for Kolebu, it's like a referral place. So most of the cases, like, so we see a lot of it like this, and it is very difficult. I can say that confidently, like, it is very, very difficult for moms to go through that, and sometimes especially when they have like preemies and they are there. And the difficult part of my job was usually
I'm not going to cut you, but I think our hospital system also doesn't help. You when I was actively working, you realize that we mix all these women, those that have delivered, those that have lost their babies, those that are through CS, those that did vaginal delivery, and then there are times that you will see this mother, the ones that usually I cry for them, is because they possibly had a live baby and something happened and the baby died, and then you see them lying on the same ward with those having babies, and they see them trying to breastfeed, and they hear their baby cry, and then they are like, oh my goodness, it's too much.
I totally agree with that. We don't make room for that, and it's sad because I've seen a mom who had twins who died and they were under her bed. Can you imagine?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so as at the time I was talking to her, they've not come. They have to come and do all those formalities and stuff, and they put the babies under, and she was like, they are here. So it was something that was hard personally for me, because sometimes you have to even go and break the news. Breaking of bad news is something
I don't like it. Trust me, I don't like it too.
So you have to go break the news to the person and especially if it's going to be like the second loss or the third loss. And there are people like that. They've been through it, as she said, multiple times. And when you're Kolibu, as for that one, you get exposed to a lot of it. So it's very devastating to see that, them go through that. So it's not
I just feel like with the hospital system here in Ghana, they dismiss your feelings.
They do.
No, I feel like I want to go jump off a cliff right now.
Yeah.
That's how the mother is
Yeah.
feeling at this point, and you're dismissing that feeling. You're making her feel like she's not valid enough.
Yeah.
It's a lack of empathy, I believe, and I believe that a lot of the doctors here lack empathy. I feel they need to be trained a little bit.
The thing is that when you see a lot of death happening, unfortunately, you end up shutting. I was becoming very empathic with my clients. And so their screaming and their pain was becoming my pain. And I needed to dissociate myself from their pain to give them the best service and delivery. Now, if you're in a system where you see a lot of people dying, you see a lot of babies dying, you see a lot of mothers dying, the thing is that we don't have that therapy system to sit us down and be like, oh, you were a nurse, you were on duty, this death happened, how are you dealing with it? Because we're human as well.
Exactly.
So in order to survive and still keep, because sometimes you just experience death and then you're like, oh my goodness, and you still have to get back to work. So how do you shift and then go back to work? And so you end up with time you end up just closing up, and you begin to lose that humanity, because you need to keep doing what you have to do professionally. And so we need to set that system. I know they will tell you there's clinical psychologists, but trust me, health workers need more than clinical psychologists, because we need to take care of you and we are traumatized.
But it was like you said before as well, the mental aspect of life is in general lacking in Ghana as well. Like this, that we take care of the mental health, and how are the people that we seek help at, if they are not mentally healthy and they are not being taken care of as well, how are they supposed to take care of us as well?
Would you say that is a cultural thing where, I'm not mentally okay. Oh, my friend. Would you say it started from when you were very young?
Oh, yes.
Especially with our doctors and stuff. So I really do believe that it's something that we need to instill in our young ones, to know that you need to be empathetic, you need to be conscious, you need to be mindful of people around you, mindful of yourself, mindful of how other people feel as well. You need to, you do need to consider that, and a lot of the times I feel like there's no consideration of that
at all.
Nobody wants to care about the second person. They just want to care about themselves.
But it's the same as being a mom. Like, how are we supposed to provide for our child if we are not getting any support from any outer circumstances? Like, this is the same with the health system, because the doctor that is sitting there every day seeing all these deaths and stuff, of course he needs to shut down, because otherwise he cannot continue going to work.
So we can't completely blame the
Hospitals
doctors. I feel like it's a joint effort between the professionals and the public, the countries as well, because they can't do it on their own. And I feel like I'm not sure with this that I'm about to do, that maybe sometimes they just get used to people dying. So it's not like they are not.
Norm.
You get used to it. You get used to it.
Another day at work. I feel like maybe with our generation, it's a very aware generation. It's a generation that came with a lot of self-awareness, and I know who I am and what I want and what I stand for. I really do believe that this generation is like that, and I believe that the children we're raising are becoming like that as well. They have a voice.
Exactly.
If they're not well, they're gonna tell you, "Mommy, I'm not well." If you speak badly to them, they're gonna tell you, I don't like the way you spoke to me." I'm not saying that our kids should get up and insult us, but give them the freedom to speak their mind and how they feel as well. And that, because they know that their feelings are valid.
It's very wrong also, this approach that we're just supposed to respect our elders in a sense, but if the elders doesn't have common sense and they don't have like good knowledge, then why am I supposed to respect you?
The elders is always right. There's that.
But
I'm
that
like,
is
where's
very
that
wrong.
coming from? Because you're a parent or you're the adult, you're always right.
Exactly.
Just because when you were a kid you were suppressed, you were not allowed to have expressions and feelings. And when someone does that, when someone calls my kid Impenisem, I always side eye the kid, like, don't ever ever call my kid Impenisem. She's being a child and she's
Allow
her own individual.
Exactly.
Right? So that should tell you that it's a lot of mental work we need to do. So, dear viewer, just to like summarize everything that we've been talking about, your feelings, your fear, your anxiety, it's all valid. Yes, you do need to get your checks done. You need to make sure that you're okay. You get your scans done. You need to eat properly, take care of your health, and fill up your free time doing hobbies, being creative, and to get your mind out of that situation. And rest assured, Once you're doing all these correctly and doing all these proper steps to ensure that your baby is okay as well, I believe your baby will be okay.